So this is the SpeedTest Tracker. What this essentially does is it goes to the SpeedTest website and performs speed tests periodically for you. It keeps track of your download speed, upload speed, latency, and pretty much everything that the SpeedTest site offers. You can set the interval for 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you want. If your server can handle it, it will do the job automatically and keep track of how your bandwidth is performing. It will store all the results with test servers, server IDs, date, and time. The best thing is it will send you a notification whenever a test is done. You can receive that on your phone or email, so wherever you are, you can keep track of your internet speed. You can set a threshold for your test, so whenever the threshold is breached, you will get an alert notification for that. It has a pretty cool UI with light and dark mode and a fully responsive interface. After the initial setup, you'll only have to interact with that, which makes it simple. So without any further delay, let's jump into the installation. I've made a step-by-step guide for you to install SpeedTest Tracker on Docker with all the commands for both Linux and Windows. You can find the link in the description. Be sure to follow our blog because we'll keep writing about exciting new tools, and please subscribe to our channel to learn more about them. Let's begin with Linux, assuming you've already installed Docker and Docker Compose on your server. Open your terminal and follow along. First, create a directory using the command mkdir docker. Then, navigate into the Docker directory using the command cd docker, and create a SpeedTest Tracker directory using another mmdir command. Now we'll get the SpeedTest Tracker configuration into our directory. Enter the command touch-docker compose.yml to create the file. Make sure the file name is correct. Then enter the command nano docker compose.yml to open the text editor. Copy the config file from the guide and right-click in the code editor to paste it. Now we'll make some changes in the config file. First, change the container name to SpeedTest Tracker-demo because I have another container running on this machine. You can leave it as it is. Then we'll need to generate an app key to store data securely. Simply follow the link provided and you'll find the key there. Copy it and paste it into the config file. Now I'll change the volume to /config, which means in the current directory, so I can back up and restore files easily. You can leave it as it is if you want. Now, we'll configure the ports. Make sure you enter a port that is open and accessible on your server. I'll use port 8120, which I picked randomly. You can choose any port you like. Next, let's save our config file. Just hit Ctrl-O, then Y, and finally Ctrl+X to exit. Now, enter the command docker compose up-D to start the Docker Compose container and let Docker pull the images. It will pull the necessary images and start the SpeedTest Tracker container, which you can access. You can use the docker ps command to check the IP and port where your container is running. Simply enter the server IP or localhost in your browser with the designated port, and you can access SpeedTest Tracker. We will set up SpeedTest Tracker in the later part of this video. Now let's install SpeedTest Tracker on Windows using Docker Desktop. Docker Desktop is a software for Windows with a graphic user interface to manage Docker containers. You can visualize them and keep track of everything. Docker Desktop brings a graphic user interface to make it simple to use the capabilities of Docker on Windows. Simply go to the Docker website. It will detect your operating system. Just download it and install it. So I've installed Docker on my machine. Let's start it. Read the terms and accept them. You can create a Docker account to access online features, but we'll continue without an account for now. You can take the survey, but we'll skip this for now. And that's it. Docker is now up and running on your Windows machine. As you can see, we can take control of pretty much everything that Docker offers. Containers, volumes, images. You can even add extensions from here itself. All right, let's install SpeedTest Tracker on Docker Desktop. For convenience, we'll use the command prompt to set up SpeedTest Tracker. First, we'll check that Docker is installed properly. Enter the command docker-v to check its version. Then enter docker-compose-v. If both commands show the version properly without any errors, you're good to go. Create a directory using the command mkdir docker, then navigate to it using the cd command. Next, create a SpeedTest Tracker directory using the mkdir command and navigate to it. Now let's create the config file for SpeedTest Tracker. Enter the command notepad docker-compose.yml. Make sure you have entered the name correctly. It will create a new file and open Notepad for you. Just copy and paste the config file from the guide and edit it. First, generate the app key using the link provided. Just follow the link and you'll get the app key. Simply copy and paste it in the config file. You can change the volume if you want, but I'll just leave it as it is for now. Edit the port to open a port on your system. I'll change the port to 8120, which I've picked randomly. You can choose any port you like, just make sure it's open and accessible. And that's it. You can save the file and close it. Now enter the command docker compose up-d. This will start the Docker container, pull the necessary images, and get SpeedTest Tracker up and running. You can enter the command docker ps to see running containers and their IP. You can also open Docker Desktop and navigate to the Containers panel to see running containers. Navigate to their IP and open it in the browser. Go to your browser and enter localhost, followed by the designated port to open SpeedTest Tracker. All right, let's set up SpeedTest Tracker. You can log in using the default email, which is admin@example.com, and the password is password in lowercase. First, we'll change the user settings. Go to the user page, enter your name, email, and password, and assign the appropriate role to the user. Now we will set up SpeedTest Tracker. Go to the General page. Adjust the time zone to your time zone to ensure accuracy in your results. You can choose test servers if you like, but I'll leave it empty and let SpeedTest decide the best server for me. Next, we'll set up a cron job so the server can determine how often it needs to perform the speed test. Follow the cron generator and add a cron job that suits your needs. Keep in mind, performing speed tests very often can put a load on your server and on the speed test servers, which may cause performance issues. A 30 or 60-minute interval is ideal to accurately determine your bandwidth performance. Next, set a threshold according to your internet plan. Adjust the threshold based on your specific requirements, as it's crucial for receiving notifications. Next, we'll set up notifications. You can receive in-app notifications or choose from various notification providers. You can set notifications for every test performed or receive them only when a threshold is breached. Let's set up notifications for Discord, as it's simple and straightforward. Enable Discord notifications. Get a webhook from your Discord server's integrations, test it, and you're good to go. Speed test can be a good indicator of your provider's network, but it's not the only metric to determine how good your network is. We'll discuss more about networks and performance testing in our next videos and articles. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. And that wraps up the video, guys. All resources are in the description, so do check them out. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and newsletter. Share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.